Afternoon that former Vice President Kamala Harris has a bombshell announcement. She will not run for California governor next year. Less than a year after she lost the 2024 election to Donald Trump, Harris's decision has already led to the inevitable speculation that this means that she will run again for president in 2028. In a statement explaining her decision, Harris says this, quote, "For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fearlessly, and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plans." All right, our panel is here in the...
Well, there you have it. Sounds like she's gonna run again. Don't know how you feel about that, but she sounds like she's gonna gear up. She hasn't officially announced anything, obviously, but all signs point to gonna run. Um, Man, my initial thought about the her re-upping and going back into it was I don't know that she was the strongest candidate to run. Obviously, her being in office definitely helped her, but when it came to some of her engagements and speaking engagements, it was a little rough. And not saying that she couldn't have done better with more time, maybe. I don't know, who's to know, but it's just she had some really bad gaffes when it comes to some interviews and comments and things of that nature and questions. And so I think she just had a rough go at it and spent a lot of money and got, you know, just yeah, it was a rough one. So it's very interesting to see that she's gonna bounce back. I mean, good for her bouncing back, getting back in there, and don't get beat up too much. But it ought to be an interesting race because you have Gavin Newsom, who's seems seemingly is on a campaign run as well, getting his name out in the public. Done a couple podcasts, which I'm going to review a few of those as well. And then you have I forget the other senator's name who's running. So it's very interesting on the Democratic side of who's going to be running. I think we have it pretty well locked at this point who's going to be running 2028 on the Republican side with JD Vance. I don't know who his VP pick will be, but it's safe to say he will be uh, definitely running. So this next political season is going to be wild. So I don't know. Let's see.
Arena, CNN political director and our Washington bureau chief, David Chalian, CNN political commentator Jonah Goldberg, Democratic strategist, former senior advisor for the Harris campaign, Adrian Elrod, and CNN political commentator, Republican strategist, Brad Todd. Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for being here. David Chalian, I spoke to one person close to Harris who insists this is just a decision about 2026. It's not a decision about 2028. And yet.
Okay. Well, and yet, as you said, speculation. Listen, I think that is true. The for now in her statement is doing a lot of work to fueling the speculation about 28. But Casey, I mean, just a totally different assessment politically of looking at getting into a gubernatorial race where a lot of the polling had her as a dominant force if she were to get into the race. No sure thing to victory, obviously, in 26 versus what may be an extraordinarily crowded race in 28 that is far off yet, and that I don't think she will have any ability to sort of clear in any way for herself in 28. So I do take the advisor that you talked to and others I've spoken to at their word that this is not a decision about 28. Obviously, she's doing everything she can to preserve her options, and we're going to see a lot more of her in the next 18 months than we've seen in the last 6 months. There's no doubt about that. But I don't read this as automatically she thinks she's going to jump into the 28 presidential race.
Adrian Elrod, what do you think?
Look, I think her statement speaks for itself. This is a woman who has served Californians as San Francisco DA, as Attorney General, obviously as in the United States Senate, and as Vice President of the United States for the entire nation. I think she wants to take a step back, really focus on, how can she help the American people? How can she be a part of, pushing back against some of Trump's dangerous and divisive policies without having this transactional relationship with voters, which is exactly what she made clear in her statement, that she wants to be able to go out there and fight for people without having to go through the slog of running for office. She deserves to have a little bit of space here in this moment to, not always be running for office, not always be in elected office, but also making sure that she can be a viable force in the Democratic Party and a very important voice. And I'm also confident that if she had run for governor of California, she would have won that race. But she certainly, of course, has made it clear that she wants to keep her options open.
But in keeping that up.
Okay, this is going to be a tough one for me to get through. I can already tell. Let me just say this. Democrats suck. They just don't have any, I don't know. They suck. Their messaging sucks. They don't know how to cut through to the average American people, and they just struggle with it. And it baffles me. Trump, hate him or love him, he can speak very clearly and convey his message very clearly. I don't care if it's lying or whatever, he can do it clearly. Democrats are still stuck on this old school politician kind of wave thing. And God, it's like, in a perfect world, you want them to be better, because in my opinion, if you have a balanced government, that's always best, because it's a good checks and balance for everything. It's like a little firewall. That way you don't have it going extreme either way. And I think that's good for all of us. Who wants to be extreme either way? I want a mix of both. I think both have good ideas. I'm an idea guy. If you have a good idea, let's go with it. If you have a terrible idea, okay, let's throw it out. That's how I'm wired. I'm always wired to be that guy in the middle. No one's happy, but you get something. And I think, we can all benefit from that with this extreme back and forth. And, hate it or love it, we got to get money out of politics. When you have these very wealthy people and individuals and companies, and I'm all for capitalism and all that good stuff, but we got to get money out of politics, because it is ruining these guys. Because all they see is money, they see dollar signs, and they think about the next campaign instead of what we can do to help better the lives of American people. One thing we can all agree on, whether you're on the left or right, we want to save schools for our kids. We want gas in our in the car. We would love to have discretionary money so we can take trips once or twice a year and not, be broke, and have health insurance, and, not have more month than you have money. Just the basic stuff. And I don't know why a lot of politicians just seem to stumble, and especially the Democrats. They seem to really just, I don't know, just run on populist issues. That's it. Keep it simple. And if you're for capitalism and people starting a business and making it, go for it. Don't stand in the way. And so anyway, I'm rambling now, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And we appreciate you guys.